your early insights on Michael Carter, what he's capable of?
Dual threat guy. Happy to have him here. So he's picking it up as quick as he can. We'll get him out there today and see where it goes.
What went into that decision to bring him in?
Like all decisions, best thing for the roster. Try to add competition, playmaking, try to improve our roster every day. It's good by Monty.
What did you make of James Conner just, being back when you went through the film?
Awesome. I mean, it's like he didn't miss a step, honestly. So really good job by the staff to get him ready to go when they did. Obviously, the work James put in to get back, but he's in a good place. He definitely helped us win that game.
When you look across the other sideline, you're going to see D'Amico Ryans, you and him both being first-year head coaches. How unique or exciting of an opportunity is that to go against another first-year head coach?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, the Cardinals versus the Texans. But when he took over in San Fran is when I took over in Philly, so we're kind of on the same path. Have a relationship with him. He's a really good dude. I have a very high opinion of him, and it's not surprising what he's doing over there.
Burke was here last year. Where do you see him kind of getting his hands on that defense?
The D-line, how their front plays, and that fits with D'Amico, how he wants to play. But very, high effort. Those guys play extremely hard. They're violent, they're fast, they're aggressive, they're very disruptive. So that's kind of where you see it show up.
In fact, Burke knows Kyler pretty well. Does that factor in anywhere?
New teams, new people, new schemes. So, yeah, I'm sure they turn over every stone just like we do. But when the ball kicks off, got to go out and play.
What is it? Is it like you're talking about? Obviously, D'Amico is in his first year. You're in your first year. You're trying to build up the teams that you guys come from. What is that invigorating as a coach? Is it just because for you is it just another step in your process, or do you get an extra something out of hey, I'm taking this and kind of building it this?
I'm invigorated every day, Darren. So one day at a time. But I was in there hooting and hollering this morning and made sure that everyone was awake and ready to go to work. So no, you just take it one day at a time, do the best job you can.
What have been some of the things that you've learned? I mean, obviously now we're more than halfway through the season that you kind of might not have gone into the season expecting to learn as a head coach, but you've learned along the way.
Really, everything that's come up for the most part, you kind of, you lean on the people to help you get prepared, and then you talk to and you lean on the people in your building so that you're prepared for a lot of that stuff. But I think the most important things that kind of come across your desk is just, you communicate effectively and clearly. You make decisions when they have to be made, but you take in the input. And then, just like I told Darren, you do the best job you can with the circumstances and the factors that you have to go into decisions and what you do.
You mentioned seeking a cleaner operation, this week. You took the weigh-in a little cleaner. Where does that pertain to? What areas?
Yeah, on the road too. I mean, we don't want pre-snap penalties, so that's and now in a road environment a little bit different. So we worked hard. We're going to work hard at it again today, and just try to keep cleaning those up as we go.
I know that this penalty questions can be a loaded question, but when you are assessing what your team did with penalties, and you are looking at a play, whatever it might be, that you're like, okay, that shouldn't have been flagged. Do you take that into account when you're kind of talking to your team? Or?
No, we educate our guys on what's legal and what's not, what the officials like to call, what's the emphasis, what are they high on, what are they low on. But as always, you got to educate your guys on technique, because I do feel a big amount of penalties come from lack of technique. And so, if we're playing technically sound, hopefully you don't get penalized. So, but, different crews call it different ways. And during the game, there's, what also goes, I would say, two things, Darren, that go into that is the technique part of it and then decision making. So, and that's bang, bang. So you got to just, coach them up and educate them. You got to make a good, clean decision here, or that will be flagged. So, and flags obviously hurt the ball club. So it's a part of the game, and you always want to strive to clean those things up.
How do you think overall the special teams, the cover and all that is done? I know it's taken a hit with a couple of guys.
Yeah, Jeff and Sam's done a good job. I mean, that's kind of the life of a special teams coordinator when the roster starts moving around. But I think the key piece to those two guys, what they've done a really good job is bringing guys along that maybe their roles have to change because of injury or offense or defense, where they've been coaching those guys when they weren't even playing and developing those guys before they were playing. You know what I mean? So then you don't feel as bad when this guy has to go in. Well, he's got 6 weeks of banked reps on that, so we feel good about it. But they've done a really good job. I think that's definitely a weapon for us, that phase. And I'm always on those guys about playing penalty free. You know what I mean? So we've had some penalties, but a lot of the times those are bang bang. But they've impacted the game for us. Obviously, the specialists, that unit, those three guys have done a really good job. The operation's been good with that. The coverage units have been good, and we had the one return pop, but last week. But we always strive to get better at those units too.
Away from the field, how aware are you of what some of the guys are doing in the community? And is that
Very aware. Yeah, we talk about it on Mondays. Yeah, they do a good job. I tell them, I said, my little guy asked me, every day about those guys. So that should tell you right there, like what they do in the community, how they can impact people in a positive way. I think that is honestly a little bit of a responsibility of all of us to do that. We have a high honor to do what we do, so you have to use that in a positive way to affect change in a positive way or help people out in a positive way, and I think our guys do a really good job of that.
With all the things reacted to Kyler in last week, what did you think of his work in the pocket and going through reads and progressions?
Very comfortable. He gets through his reads extremely fast. I didn't think he was jittery at all. I thought his footwork was phenomenal. I would say, after just being one game, but having studied him and watched him and practice and all that, I would say he has, if not elite, very, very good pocket presence. He knows where people are around him. He knows when to slide. He knows when to hitch. He knows when to get out of there. It's hard to sack the guy, and obviously that's an asset for us.
Prior to the last game, you had said maybe, temper the expectations, but after last week, are those, I assume, completely?
I'm all the way up. No, no. He knows he had some things he wanted to work on. That's a rap song, I think, Danny. He had some things he wanted to work on himself, what Drew and Iz wanted him to work on, and it's just the next step in the process for us. So, and he goes out there and he works at it. Like, he's very mindful of those things. He's a very self-aware player. But I thought we had a good week of practice. We got to get out there today, and hopefully we take the next step forward and we put it. He helps us, helps the offense, give our team a chance to win.
What's really separated C.J. Stroud from usual rookie quarterbacks that you've seen on tape?
He plays fast. I think certain rookies that I've watched, I've went against, that where they struggle is they might not see it as fast or whatever. And that could be not just the guy. That could be a multitude of reasons. But he plays extremely fast. He plays the position fast. And I think that's a reason for one of the reasons for the success that he's having. Obviously, the talents, he's got all that. But I think more so than that is he plays fast.
NFL Films put together a piece about coaches wearing watches, and you were featured in it. What you were talking a little bit about Jocko Willink. What was some of the things that you've taken away from him in his book, and what is a player making the most of their time actually look like?
I'm not like Mike McDaniel with a $100,000 watch on. I think it might have been $38 on sale at Target. I've worn it for 10 years. Best thing I've ever bought for myself. Yeah, just take the arrow in the forehead, truthfully. His books, that if you know of that guy, obviously very successful in the field that he was in. But if you listen to him talk, like, there's never any excuse, there's never any cop out of it. He takes extreme ownership. So I think that if you can always hold yourself to high accountability, you're on your way to improving.
Going off of that, what does it look like for the players or the coaching staff to make the most of their time?
Yeah, I would say just as it relates to that, Zach.
When you look at a player and you say, in the grand scheme of, or the grand scope of 24 hours, they made the most of their time. What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, if you want to strive to be the best at what you do, or if you want to strive to be a consistent, winning football team, like you have to maximize the day. You can't relax. You have to have accountability. You have to have a willingness to improve, learn. And then you got to stay, I always say, like anyone can rah-rah and stay positive for a day, but you have to have sustained positive enthusiasm about how you go about your business, about what kind of teammate you are. And we got a lot of guys that do that.